it's not going to last forever. I don't know if you're familiar, but before, in the early days of YouTube, there were pranks that were very popular, and
Yeah.
yeah, and eventually, too many bad pranks, and with innocent people getting harmed, and yeah, it is Craig Adrian. This is him. Yeah, with innocent people being harmed, and then YouTube took the hammer and just obliterated all pranks and just demonetized everything. Now, if you move it along, there is the flat Earth movement that a lot of the anti-frauditor channels, that's what they started on, and that got obliterated. No more flat Earth shit because they were spreading misinformation. So what I'm getting to here is that all it takes is for Floyd, right? News Now Omaha.
I actually have never spoken to him, but I know of him. He's been in Indiana before.
Yeah, he scratches his back. He tries to get shot and become a martyr, basically.
Yeah.
And all it takes is for him to actually get shot and to achieve what he's trying to prove. And then YouTube will see an article in the newspaper that says, YouTuber killed trying to earn YouTube money by doing dangerous actions. And all that shit is done. The First Amendment frauder movement, it's gone. I can guarantee you that. So it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So when that happens, will you continue your channel?
Yeah, of course.
Demonetized, not a dime. You're not going to earn a dime from ad revenue. You're not going to be able to have memberships. You would still continue your channel.
If my channel got demonetized, I'd make a new channel, but it would continue to. I'm kind of in a transition period right now where I wouldn't say I'm done going out and collecting content, but I've certainly slowed down. And so I am kind of transitioning into more of a lackluster kind of a platform. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Yeah, where you're going to be reviewing other people's content?
Not even other people's content. Like I've gotten, I'm getting emails with videos of just police misconduct. And so I would review that, not necessarily First Amendment audits, because if they would be demonetized, then that would be it. But I will say I don't know that, I don't know about the whole prank thing. I don't know how that works. I know that YouTube is very strict right now about First Amendment audit videos. Like I've had multiple videos demonetized that I have actually posted. And because they had like cussing or screaming, or there was even one that got demonetized, no police brutality was shown, and they demonetized it, and it failed the review for police brutality in a non-educational way. And I still posted it, but I know that they're quite they're pretty strict about it right now. So I don't know that they would demonetize, but if they did, yeah, I'd just transition to a different kind of platform, but I would still stay advocating for freedom.
Gotcha. Because I see it coming, because now the movement is exploding. There is so many new frauditors left and right, and I see it coming. It's just a matter of one frauditor doing the wrong thing, and it's gonna be Floyd. Let's face it, it's obviously gonna be Floyd. Before we bring
I really don't know. I don't watch his videos.
Let me show you this before, because now we don't have that many people in yet. We're gonna bring them, but let me show you what I'm talking about, so that way you can see what's going on. Hold on, just have to find out which video there was. Hold on, because I'm gonna find that in just a sec. But my other question was like, so I noticed on your channel, there's videos that are members only. So yeah. I understand you're trying to make the most out of your channel. You're selling shirts. So how's that going? Have you sold a lot of merch?
Yeah, I'd say I don't like to really put that out, but thanks to my brilliant supporters and not only their love for the channel, but their love of flaunting it, which I thank them, because we've got them in here as well.
Yeah. I want to say hi to
our shirts. We make hundreds from our shirts, and we make hundreds from our from our members every month. And, you know, I'm not trying to brag about that. That all helps us. But, you know, that if you want a matter of fact thing, yeah, we make multiple hundreds from each.
Okay. And thousands from the ads.
Yes.
Yeah.
On a monthly basis, obviously.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, not daily, of course.
Yeah, I wish, but
no, yeah. No, that's to make 1,000, you would need a lot of views in one day. I'm trying to find, okay, here's the video. Let me just show this while we're hold on. Okay, so this is what he does. So he hangs out around police cars.
None of your business.
What are you doing around my cars?
None of your business.
Yeah, it is
Obviously, the cops are gonna come look out for him and say, "What are you doing?"
No, it's not.
Dude, it is.
Oh, for what? You gonna
Yeah,
tase
I'm
me?
gonna tase you. If you don't answer my questions, you're gonna get tased.
So I'm gonna get, if I get,
You're gonna get
you gonna
tased.
beat me up and I answer your
So
question.
you're behind my cars. You're gonna get tased. What are you doing behind my
I'm
cars?
unarmed, so if you tase me, it's on you.
That's right. It will be on me. If you don't answer my questions,
So, and then what the part you're not seeing is that he's reaching behind his back to pretend he has a weapon. So that's just the kind of behavior. And yeah, and he carries rifle cases. So that's just the kind of behavior that will end your movement. Or if you're saying you're going to move away from it or move towards different stuff.
I'd like to say, I don't, you know, look, I don't like to get philosophical, but I was just watching Star Wars. Now, in Star Wars, Obi-Wan says to Lord Vader, if you kill me now, I will be 1,000 times more, I will come back 1,000 times more powerful, something along that lines. If a cop killed somebody or tased somebody for standing near their car, could you imagine how many people that would change their minds? They'd be like,
no,
wow,
no, it's not about standing behind the car. He has a rifle case most of the time, and he's behind. You wouldn't do that. You're not that dumb. Like, there's no way you have
to get killed.
Yeah, exactly. But like,
yeah,
only,
I know these guys are dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're worried that you might have a gun and you're reaching behind your back. Obviously, like, that's the thing you don't understand, or you don't want to understand. It's like, yeah, I understand you hate the police and everything, but they still get shot at on a daily. It's a dangerous job. Like, there's criminals that are going to shoot at them. It's an actually dangerous job, and cops die while working. So it's a dangerous job. So if I wouldn't be a cop, because it would be too stressful for me, I wouldn't do it. So I understand why they're on edge. And here they have an idiot that's hiding behind trees and looking into cars. And when he gets confronted, he pretends like he has a gun. So you don't understand why they behave that way.
Well, I mean, look, this is the thing. You know, if somebody comes out and wants to talk to somebody and they see that they have a gun, or they think they do because there's a case, it's kind of on them. Like, they approached the guy with a gun. Nobody made him do it. Sure, I mean, the guy's being a weirdo, but America was founded by weirdos. Like, we left England, we left Germany, we left Ireland because the status quo didn't fit us. We wanted something new, and we weren't accepted over in the old world. So we came to the new world to be weirdos. That's like Waco. It's like those guys that died in Waco, they were completely weird. You know, they had their own beliefs. They were weirdos. I wouldn't hang out with them, but it was kind of their right to be weirdos. This is America. And same with Floyd.
I'm not that familiar with the case, but did they take anybody with them, or did they have other victims outside of the cult?
No victims outside of the cult. No.
Well, that's a great thing then. That's fantastic.
Yeah. There were victims inside. The ATF killed, I think it was something like 20 some children, unfortunately. But
that's crazy. I heard they weren't in a church and they like blew themselves up, or
no, the ATF, and they drove tanks through the walls, and they pumped I forget the gas. There was some sort of gas that they pumped in, and then they began
saying 2 cops died on the event
in Waco.
Anyways,
Yeah, there were a lot more citizens. Some sort of gas into it, and then you know, they shot at the compound that they were breaching with tanks, and so the people inside shot back. Obviously, they're being attacked, and their kids are being gassed, and the gunshot, you know, the gunshots inside of the facility.
Wait, you're not like normalizing Waco, and that's the thing. I don't want to talk too much on this subject because I haven't done my research.
Let's not spend too much time. But if you watch the last episode in the series, it goes through like 10 different events that are very similar, like almost exactly similar. Someone put in my chat CS gas. It was CS gas, and they've done it multiple times. Like the state police, this, you know, city police, the ATF, the FBI. They do this stuff, and it is normal for them to do it. It's unfortunate, but yeah, I mean, as far as like carrying a gun in public, I'm all for constitutional carry. I think that the founders did not envision where you had to be licensed to carry a gun. I think that was something that was not.
Well, I don't want to get into a gun debate, but they had, you know, no idea how the country was going to evolve, but I don't want to get into that. At that point, like, there was like bears and shit like outside your house, so obviously everybody needed a gun. Now the government has evolved, and people has evolved into more of a society. So anyways, but I don't want to talk about that.
They didn't want guns to protect against the bears. I'll just say it like that.
Yeah, I'm pro Second Amendment. I'm all for it. One thing I'm not for though is Second Amendment stunts. And that's another subject. I don't know. Are you familiar with what they call the armed fisherman?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and so what he does is he'll go with his, you know, I know people hate that term or whatever you want to call it, AR assault rifle. Every time I say assault rifle, people freak out. Okay, it's not an assault rifle, a long gun. He goes into a park where there's a pond with his long gun, and then has like one little fishing string and pretends that he's fishing. Obviously, the cops are going to go check in on him. Like, that's just
why is
obvious.
that obvious?
Well, because you have a park, you have kids going around, and you have this idiot that pretends he's fishing. I'm not saying they're going to go arrest him or whatever, but at least go check what's going on. If you're a cop and you see a guy in a park with a long gun and you're not a little bit curious, then you should be fired. Don't you agree?
No, absolutely not. Cops kill way more people. Yeah, an average cop kills way more people than an average citizen. If anything, as a citizen,
there's a lot more
citizens
than cops. Oh man. Anyways, I'm gonna bring in someone here because this guy. Oh man, I can't go on like this with you, man. We're like such on the opposite sides. Like,
I know it.
It makes no sense. Like the guy is obviously not fishing. He's not fishing. He has a little piece of string. He found a loophole.
That he's fishing.
He found a loophole.
He's just exercising a Second Amendment. The fact that there's a law that says you can't carry a gun unless you're fishing is retarded. But, you know, it is what it is. He's exercising the Second Amendment the only way that they say he can. In my opinion, he should be allowed to carry that gun anywhere except for a private establishment that prohibits it.
All right. Anyways, some people are saying you have a YouTube degree, but I'm going to answer this $20 from ICBM Catcher. Thank you so much for the support, man. And I know you, ICBM, I've seen you before. You do great in debates. So I'm going to put the link in just a second, and I would love to have you up here to debate Craig. All these clowns who call themselves auditors are nothing but YouTube actors. Agreed. Their nonsense has nothing to do with rights, freedom, or the Constitution. This guy is no different. Sort of like flat earthers, but harassing. I agree. It's all about the dough, and like nobody would put themselves at risk and go harass people if there wasn't dough involved. Like, it makes no sense. Like, why would you go?
I did.
You did? When?
Yeah. I think it was my first 30 videos. I think I was not monetized.
Yeah, but you were doing that in the hopes of getting monetized. My first, 40 videos, I wasn't monetized, but I was doing it for a reason. Yeah,
you didn't take a risk, and I didn't know I was going to blow up.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's with your attitude and your cockiness. I mean, it was pretty much guaranteed because that's.
Well, I appreciate that. I really do.
Yeah, you're welcome. No, you're a piece of shit asshole, and that's what people want to see. You are that's what I said. You guys are the future Glenn Serials, like a complete asshole douchebag. I cannot even have enough words for how you treat people, and that's what your people want to see. They love it. They can't get enough of it. So yeah, thanks so much, ICBM Catcher. Another $20, man. So generous. Thank you. I really appreciate that. ICBM Catcher. That's such BS. Lots of cops never fired their weapon for a whole career. More lies. Absolutely. And you'll get to confront Craig in just a second. I have just one or two more points I wanted to address. I want to address your dumb fans there on your live stream. One of them was like, "Oh, isn't it so ironic that they're making fun of YouTubers by doing a YouTube channel and stealing their content? Are they
You're
that
talking
stupid?"
about from the live the other day.
Yeah. So your viewers, they never heard of a commentary channel. They cannot grasp at what that means.
Well, I just think that I think that they're pointing out the irony that you say that we do it for clicks and views and that you don't.
Oh no, I do it for clicks and views 100%. I just happen to love what I'm doing on top of that. But
Same
of
here.
course, oh yeah, if this wasn't monetized, I don't think I would spend that much time on it because it takes a lot of time out of my day. And I do have a job. I run an e-commerce. That's what I was doing before. I was doing plenty of dough doing that. And now this is a really nice bonus. And on top of that, my only issue is that my income, my YouTube ad revenue comes by exposing people harassing. That's my opinion on what it is. Your income comes out of harassing people out there in the field just trying to earn a living. Because if you're filming cops, that's one thing, but then not you specifically, but a lot of frauditors, they're in the street and they're recording random ass people walking, nurses, construction workers, just harassing everybody.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, those guys, they probably wouldn't. They probably just hopped on the bandwagon and try to provoke as many people as possible. But I'll be honest, man, when I was working in the brick factory, because I know you keep calling it a warehouse, it was a factory, and it was a very strenuous job. I mean, moving bricks with nothing but your hands and a pair of gloves is tough work, and I was waking up at 5 a.m. to get to this job on time. I'd get off at 2:30, and I'd have an hour and a half to get to whatever government offices were within range in that time. Now, I did that just simply because I was very seeing guys go out and record police and just exercising their rights, and not only that, exposing bad police. It really inspired me. I thought these guys are true American heroes. They're not scared because these guys are maniacs. These guys, as you just saw in that video with Floyd, I mean, he was going to shoot him if he didn't answer his questions or tase him.
No, it wasn't about the questions. You don't see what's going on behind the camera. Floyd, I can play it back. He says, "Stop reaching, stop reaching." And Floyd says, "My back is itchy. My back is itchy."
Cops reach.
Let's not twist what happened.
Let's just say it like this. The only thing that I would say that my viewers understand that your viewers don't is that no human is above another human. No human has more rights than another human. Now, we are all endowed by these rights, or with these rights, by our creator. They're inalienable rights. And saying that a police officer has more rights than the people who pay their paychecks is the most asinine thing. So when you say I'm going and harassing these people that are just trying to do their jobs, what about truckers? What about anybody who's trying to get to work in the morning or in the afternoon who gets pulled over by a police officer and is harassed? Of course they're just trying to do their jobs. But
no, let me clarify something. Let me clarify something. I'm not for bad policemen. I actually have another channel. It's called Red Blue Cam, and we're showing police interactions. And on the channel, there's 2 videos that are of cops doing something wrong, being drunk, and getting arrested. So if a cop does something wrong, gladly, point it out. So we're not, we love the government and bootlickers and all that shit. We're not pro-corruption of the police whatsoever. But we're just anti-frauders and people that just go out there and make an effort at creating situations to get money. That's pretty much what it is.
Okay. Yeah, and what I'm trying to say is that, you know, I think everyone would agree, like, that some of the laws that these guys are just doing their jobs while they're enforcing are ridiculous. You know, like pulling somebody over who's working the night shift because they've got, you know, because they've got a license plate light out. This is what I was pulled over for a few weeks ago, and it was dismissed. But, you know, pulling somebody over for that while they're just trying to do their jobs.
Yeah, I understand it. It sucks. It sucks. But that's just how society works. Like I told you, we've been driving around for the last 10 years and never got pulled over. I understand that it sucks, or if your seatbelt's not on, or you have a busted tail light, something like that. In your case, it was a license plate light. I understand that's not the biggest thing, but at the same time, you're out there in your town harassing cops, and they are harassing you. And this, I wouldn't even call it harassing. They're watching you, and when you're gonna do the littlest thing, they're gonna catch you and they're gonna annoy you with it because you're annoying them.
Yeah, but you know, you're saying it basically like I started it. Like certainly I didn't start it, but either way, you know, I'm gonna expose them while they do it. And the thing is that if I'm harassing them and they're just looking for me to slip up, but that's not.
Wait,
harassing.
hold on. Go. I'm busy. I'm busy. Oh yeah, they did that. Okay, go get juice or something. Come on. Yeah, they're not nice. No, they're really nice. Yeah, I'll talk to you later. Okay, come on. All right, let's go. All right, sorry about that.
No, you're good. But what I'm saying is basically that, you know, they go around and harass people by definition for a living. The only thing is that they're exempt in every code of law that defines harassment.
So, no, they're not exempt. Like
it certainly does.
Let me show you
Police
something.
officer in their duties is exempt from that kind of stuff.
No. I'm going to show you my other channel after. There's this. They're not exempt. They caught a sheriff. He was drunk driving. He was wasted out of his mind. Your people would probably they probably let him go. No, they arrest him. They're not immune to the law.
No, I get it. Right. Yeah. No, drunk driving, there's no exemption for a police officer, but trespass, harassment, they're exempt.
But that's your definition. Like I understand what you're saying, because when they're just doing their job that they've been hired for, you call it harassment. So that's
so when I'm just doing my job, it's
Here, let me just read this from ICBM Catcher. I'm hitting YouTube hard on demonetizing these clowns who call themselves auditors. Let them record all they want. Contact YouTube about these losers. They should be held liable for supporting this harassment. Defund now. I agree. Especially the people like SGV that just go and harass like construction workers. I just made a video on him. It's disgusting. They're just doing their job, nurses, or people like Eli that just go out there and try to like assault everybody on the street for YouTube clout. It's nonsense.
I've got a super chat here. Design, thanks for the super chat. Recording the police is not harassment. Only bootlickers think that, and that's fine. You know, my supporters have opinions that you know, that I think maybe like this one. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with everything. Like there's an old saying that society is, you know, dubbed, and it's what goes around comes around, right? So, you know, and it is what it is, right? They go around and harass people, and then they want to go and cry and whine and say, well, these people were provoking me. And then they cry when they're about to take somebody and throw them in a cage and they get shot. Like, okay, like, yeah, they're just doing their job, but their job is taking people into cages. So,
well, I mean, just to go back to your super chats, just go back to your subscribers point. Yeah, just to go back to what he was saying, there's nothing wrong with recording the police. I encourage that. Record from a distance, a safe distance, and the police will never give you a hard time unless you're Craig and you try to walk up like 4 or 5 feet behind them. Like when
I've never done, by the way. I've never.
Well, I saw it. We all saw it. He told you to move away from his car, and you decided to walk behind his car, and then you got detained. We saw it with our own
Well,
two eyes.
he said, and I went over this in the video, that he doesn't want me somewhere where he has to watch me because he can't watch me. So I went somewhere where his partner could clearly see me, and he just wanted to. Look, it's a power trip with all these guys, right? They've been trained that they are first-class citizens, and citizens of the United States are second class, and they must do what they tell them, or else. So that's all that was. I mean, the guy gave a reason for me stepping back from where I was, and I
You
obliged.
technically got closer. I did an analysis when you were telling the chief of police or whoever it was. You're like, oh, I was right here. What I did is I zoomed back, and you were like a few feet away from his car. Anyways,
Yeah.
let me just read this.
Yeah,
Super
and
chat.
I don't have a photographic memory. I didn't do the analysis before. I did take a few steps closer to try to be more accurate, but the chief wasn't for. I mean, look, that chief. I've talked to him off camera a few times. That guy's a good guy. He really gave a talking to his police officers, and next time I go out there, I expect not to run into the same problem.
All right, and here I'm gonna read the super chats, and then after I have one last question. I promise I'm bringing subscribers in. So
Okay.
ICBM catcher for $20, man. Thanks so much for the support. Really appreciate that. This guy's so full of shit. Yes, that's all I'm gonna say. Fergie Inva for $2. He's young, naive, with a chip on his shoulder. He probably has a whole bag of chips on his shoulder, to be honest. And J Carr for $10. Recording police is not harassment. Baiting, forcing yourself into their work is harassment. Thank you so much, J Carr, for the support, and thank you so much, Fergie Inva, for the support. Now I'm gonna put the link in the chat, but I don't know because I'm logged into Facebook. Some reason it's not working. Give me a sec. Oh, okay, wait, it did work. All right, Smitty. I just want to ask you, Smitty, did you pull up the link from YouTube or from Facebook?
I just hit the link.
Okay, but you're on YouTube, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. I just want to make sure you guys are seeing the link. Do you see the link here, Craig, on the side?
I'm not actually in. Let's see. I've got yours full screen, so I can't see. But
okay.
Let me see here.
I think it worked. All right.
Yeah, it's in there. It's in there.
Yeah. Hey, Smitty, welcome to the debate. Nice to see you again.
How we doing, buddy?
Oh, we're doing good. I was looking forward to this debate with Craig. Looks like you guys were looking forward too. And you have ICBM catcher in the background, so we're just gonna have 5 minutes, 10 minutes with Smitty and Craig, and then we're gonna move on to the next person. So go ahead, you guys. The floor is all yours.
Oh, I was just listening to you guys.
Oh, you didn't come in to debate Craig?
Well, if I get going, you might get banned.
Sorry?
So
if you get going, you might get...
Yeah, I'll speak when spoken to.
Oh yeah, but we're not really doing it that way because I'm gonna have people come in and out. But feel free, speak your mind. Like I don't care if this video gets demonetized. I don't care. Speak your mind. As long as there's no racist shit, and I know you're not racist.
Oh no,
we're all good here. So yeah, I know you for a while, so I know you're good. So go ahead, Smitty.
Well, first off, why? The part I can agree with Border Patrol that yeah, it's good to do an audit on the police from a safe distance or walking there and not argue. But dude, you're not only arguing with cops, you're arguing with ladies that are somebody's daughter, mother. You have a mother, right?
Absolutely.
And how would you like me talking to her like that at her job?
My mom would never tell you what to do.
No. Did you go in there with an attitude?
No, I certainly don't.
Dude, how old are you?
I'm 23.
Oh, no wonder. Okay. I'm double your age. My daughter.
The age doesn't have anything to do with it because at Craig's age, I was an asshole, but nowhere close to the level of asshole that Craig is. but it's all good.
Well,
I
it
just
depends
wanna
on your
know
upbringing too.
when was I actually an asshole before somebody tried telling me what to do?
That lady was telling you to get out of the office.
Yeah,
And all
so she was
you cared
telling me
about
what
was the
to do.
damn candy.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was. You were. You go to these small towns. These people hardly ever have people coming with a camera. Yeah, have you ever run into somebody else with a camera, walking around doing what you're doing? Random person.
No, I don't think so.
But I don't think what you guys are doing are catching on to the regular public and all your fans. They just
Well,
like
hey,
watching you get arrested.
A lot more people are grabbing cameras. I know that I've gotten multiple emails. A lot of the people are in my chat right now, actually, that have grabbed cameras and recorded the police. But the whole thing isn't about teaching the citizens that they have to respect our First Amendment right, because they don't. I mean, unless we're in public, then they have the right to associate or not. But you know, if you go onto somebody's private property and start spouting off about the First Amendment, you know, they don't have to respect that. It's their private property. So I don't think that citizens are used to it because they don't get audited. It's public employees. They get
All
audited.
right, so they're public employees, right? You didn't use the servant word. So
Well, they
they're
are
everybody.
servants. I mean, by law in Indiana, they call them servants.
Well, by law, well, what you don't follow the law, so why should you call them servants?
Well, I am a law-abiding citizen.
No, you want anarchy. How can you be both?
Well, you can want anarchy and still not get in trouble. So.
Okay.
I mean,
right,
I've
so
been in trouble.
They're
Which I'm
public
sure
employees, right?
mention. I've been arrested before, but currently I'm in compliance with all laws. Yeah.
Public employee, right? The word public.
Right, as an
So that
employed by
means-
tax dollars.
That means anybody that walks in there, they work for.
Yes.
Okay, so if you walk in there and you're having the back and forth with the lady, and I walk in there as a citizen, and I see you treating that my employee too in a harsh way, I have something to say to you, don't I?
Well, I guess you could. Yeah, it's your First Amendment right, just free speech.
And that's my employee, right? According to you.
Yeah.
So I can tell you to fuck off.
You could tell me to, for sure. Yeah.
And if you shove
All
the
right.
camera in my face, I can knock you out and
Well,
take
I
a
don't-
charge, right?
You
Right?
get charged, certainly. Yeah.
Yeah, so if I didn't care about getting charged, I can knock you out. Not even wait for to hear your spiel.
Well,
Because
I
I'm
don't
not
know
in
if
the mood to hear it.
I don't know if you could knock me out, Schmitty, but yeah, I mean, if you had the ability,
I
guess
think
you
I
could,
can, buddy.
yeah.
Trust me.
In an anarchy
All right. Well, we'll have to
system, though-
organize that. We'll have to organize
Yeah.
that at another time. But
I got
Smitty,
one good
thanks so
hand
much.
and it still works.
All
All
right,
right.
Smitty, thanks so
Yeah,
much for
But, hey,
hopping
but
on.
hold on, I've got an important point to address with Schmitty. Is that he said, you know, are you referring to like this is what you could do if anarchy was in place? Like you could
Yeah, I
knock me
mean-
out if
So why are you not just streaming it from your same image? You don't have two monitors or something?
yeah, and with I don't want any feedback from the mic, so yeah, I don't have two monitors. So this is my phone, and then I'm doing the actual StreamYard from the computer.
Oh boy. But
Yeah.
I mean, you could use a headphone, right? And there's no
Well,
feedback.
I've got headphones, but it's not really. I
Craig,
don't
you
know.
need to upgrade your setup, man.
Well, I don't
You
do
got-
work at the computer.
Yeah, but you're gonna be doing
man.
debates. You're gonna be
do
doing a lot of debates.
I
Like you
do
have a
this for
debate
you.
tomorrow, so
Yeah,
no,
but
you
that's
need.
going to be streamed from my StreamYard. I don't need 2 different StreamYards.
Yeah, all right. I'm just saying you should invest a little bit, but it's all good. Smitty, thanks so much for coming by. And
Hey, no problem.
yeah, sounds good, man. So
I
thanks
wasn't
for coming
prepared
by.
to really have a debate. I was just gonna come in here. I thought it was a whole thing.
No,
So-
no, it's all good. We're doing one by one, but yeah, thanks
No,
for
that's
coming by
understandable.
and putting your.
I'm not complaining. That's no problem, man.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
You take
All
care.
right, take care, man. All right,
Bye.
Fergie and Bob for $2. Thanks so much. Craig wouldn't last a day under anarchy. A lot of people are saying that. And
Yeah, and
so
I expect that from your viewers. But I'd like to say that if he was talking about, well, in your system, you would have it this way. In my system, there wouldn't be public property. So if I was on his private property talking to his private employee like that, certainly he'd have the right to kick me out. And if I refused to, leave, then he would retain the right to bring his gun out and blow my head off. But
just a second. So next in line is ICBM catcher, but I see Papa Chuck in the background. Papa Chuck, what's up? Why you're on Craig's side, so who are you coming to debate? Let me just bring you in a sec. Who are you coming to debate?
We can't hear you.
We can't
You're
hear
muted,
you, buddy.
Papa Chuck.
Can't hear you, Papa Chuck.
Better?
Yeah.
Kind of.
I'm coming for you, Auditor Troll. I'm coming for you.
Okay, no worries. So we'll go back to ICBM catcher. You'll be back in 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, I'll wait. No problem, buddy. I'll wait.
All right. Let me
Just full disclosure, Papa Chuck, good to see you, man. But full disclosure, I did not, Papa Chuck can vouch, I did not put the link in my video.
No, I went to Auditor Troll's YouTube and scrolled back through the chat.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
So just head backstage and okay, hold on. All right, you're backstage. ICBM catcher, thank you so much for hopping in. How's it going?
Wow, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, very well.
Okay, so I mean, I can't even believe you give these guys any credibility. They're
I'm not giving
audible.
them any credibility.
Well, some people will. Well, I wish I could make my face smaller. Sorry.
It's all good, man.
To even, like, for instance, they don't audit anything. They're not auditing anything. It's just a term they came up with at some point to give themselves a little bit of credibility. These guys, like I said in my chat, they're nothing but YouTube actors. They're out there for the attention. This guy here is talking about anarchy, which has failed every time, never ever worked anywhere. They talk about it, but if anarchy were actually a thing, guys like me and this kid and anybody who's not a freaking warrior would be dead. So everything they say is utter nonsense, and they know exactly what they're doing. Their bullshit has nothing to do with rights or freedom. They just want to be on camera. They want to see themselves mouthing off to people. And the thing that really gets me is they know the cops can't do anything about it. They know the cops are duty bound.
They do things about it. What are you talking about? They do things about it.
Only at you have to cross a line, but they have to take your verbal abuse. You can say anything you want to them. They can't. You're the kind of kid that would throw rocks at a dog on a leash because you know the dog can't get at you. That's the kind of kid you would.
No, I would never. I've never, and I would never. I mean, you can ask anybody who knows me, which I'm sure that Ty's in the chat on my chat. I don't know. You got Hoosier News Now, who knows me. All these people know that I'm not really. I'm really not a bad person at all. I've never wronged anybody in my life. Like my criminal charges were all for nonviolent crimes. But look, the verbal abuse that you say that I dish out is only dished out when I receive it. Like if somebody comes around and tries to tell me what to do, I'm a grown man, and no grown man is going to tell me what to do on public property and expect me to just comply like a slave. Maybe that's what you do, and I respect that, man. You can do that all you want. But as far as the First Amendment auditing community, man, all we do is go in and see if they respect our right to record in public. The appellate court of the United States said that it is a First Amendment right to record employees that are public employees in their public capacity. It was I think it was the 6th District Appellate Court of the United States that said that. So if you don't like the system, that's fine, man. You know, I'm fine with that. You know, I don't like the system either, brother. The system's bad.
But that's not what you do, and you know it. You elicit a response.
That's what I do.
You intentionally elicit a response. You intentionally antagonize people.
I go into buildings all the time where I don't get any response.
I've only seen 1 or 2 of your videos. I make sure that anytime I watch one of these so-called auditor videos, I do it on a different, like on a platform like Auditor Troll or something like that, so you don't make any money off it.
Yeah. That's fine. That's fine. You won't get the whole story, though. You certainly won't get the whole story.
The whole. If you call yourself journalists, why don't we ever see a real journalist doing anything like what you do? They don't insert.
What do you mean a real journalist? You mean like the guys on CNN?
Yeah, like people that actually are journalists. And
But
the thing is,
the reason you don't see them doing stuff like this is because they're fake news, dude. Like even Fox is fake news. Like CNN, Fox, and MSNBC, CNBC. It's all fake. Nothing on there is actually relevant. It's all just stuff to get people stirred up and watching, which is pretty much, I mean, it's what you say we do. But we're just the same. Like I run stories on people and I don't get paid for it at all. There's a story I ran recently. There were 2 actually. There was a story on For Public Safety. His wife's back got broken by police, and I didn't get monetized on that. And then there was another one that I posted recently. A boy got stopped for a traffic stop and was tased.
Sorry, doesn't mean that you don't get a green sign. You're still making money. You're still getting views. That's still helping your channel.
Hey, look, maybe I made $5 from YouTube Premium revenue. Yeah, but that doesn't.
I don't want to monopolize. I want to let someone else in. So just let me say one other thing about this.
Take your time. Take your time.
When you do what you do, it's an act, and you're an excellent actor because you haven't broken character yet, which is admirable, I guess. But the thing about not telling people what to do, that is so immature and adolescent. And what you don't understand, or what you refuse to accept, because I know you understand it, but what you refuse to accept is that police officers have responsibilities. They don't just tell you what to do for nothing. Cops don't arrest people for nothing. That's utter bullshit.
They absolutely do.
If you think that a cop is going to walk up to somebody and just arrest him for no reason and do all the paperwork and all the bullshit that's got to go with it, then you're more naive. Yeah, okay.
No, your cognitive dissonance goes far. Look, you should watch Lackluster. Just dropped a video 5 days ago of a guy carrying a firearm. He asked the private property owner if they cared for what were their rules on firearms. I guess it was a manager. The guy said he didn't know. The cops got called. The guy complied with everything that they said. And then the cops ran up and arrested him. The charges got dropped the next day. And this happens all the time. The charges get dropped the next day all the time. Yes, they do arrest people for no reason.
That doesn't mean the cops didn't arrest him for nothing. That is not what that is.
What do you call somebody who gets arrested for weed dealing? What do you call that?
If it's illegal in their state, it's illegal in their state. If you got a problem with it, then you go change the law.
But what did they do though? What was it that they did that was wrong?
Being arrested for having weed?
No, I mean that or weed dealing. Yeah, either one.
Okay,
what did they do that was wrong?
Let me make it even more ridiculous. If it somehow got to be against the law to wear a yellow shirt on Tuesdays, and you got arrested for wearing a yellow shirt on Tuesday, then that's just how it is. That's what the law is.
Yeah. Yes. No, I get you, man.
Yeah. Okay. So if you want to change the law, then change the law.
Oh, no, it's don't even act like you just go, hey man, I don't like this. Let me just change it. It's not that simple, man. We fought a whole revolution. I get that maybe back in the 1760s, you probably would have been one of the loyalists, right? It is how it is. King George taxes us and we don't get representation. That's fine, man. That's how it is. But the more sane people amongst us realize that's not right, right? sometimes you have to fight for your freedom, and sometimes there has to be martyrs for freedom. And the people that go out and do what I do, that's what we are. You know, I'm not putting on an act. You can ask anybody that knows me. This is me. Like, I actually believe in anarchism. I study, you know, I listen to seminars from professors at the Mises Institute. I've read Murray Rothbard's Man, Economy, and State. I've read, you know, Tom Wood's 33 Things They Don't Want You to Know About American History. I've read a whole lot of stuff regarding anarchism and written by anarchists, and a lot of economic books as well, like Peter Lynch's How to One Up Wall Street and Peter Schiff's How an Economy Grows and How It Crashes. I've read into this stuff, and this is what's made me believe this stuff. But the fact that you just say, well, it is how it is, and that's how it is, that just shows. Look, I'm not here trying to convince you that you're wrong or anything. I'm just showing my viewers right now the cognitive dissonance of the people that believe the things that you believe. Like, it can be as wrong as saying that it's illegal.
Wait a minute. I have to say something. You learned that word 2 days ago on your live stream, and now you're obsessed with it.
No.
Yeah, one of your viewers said that.
Yeah, there is a podcast from me. It's from 2019 called Hard Money with Craig. It's on Spotify. It's still out there. Now, I admit my voice is terrible in it. I sound like, you know, I'm really trying to be a know-it-all guy. But the whole thing is that, yeah, no, I've been using big words. Look, nobody knows the words I know. Nobody says I have the best words. I have the best words. And anybody
at least that made me laugh.
They're fake.
That made me laugh. All right. So any closing remarks, ICBM?
Yeah. Let me just say something else about laws and whatnot. Laws don't just fall out of the sky. Before anything becomes a law, I'm sure you know the process and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So by the time a law becomes a law, it's been debated and discussed, and dissenters have you know, the whole thing. So by the time a law is a law, you are nobody that's going to just decide, well, it doesn't apply to me, or I don't have to do that. And if you do want to do that, if you really were serious about what you would do, you would get arrested and you would fight it out in court where you can really make a difference. But you try to fight it out with the cops so you can make an impression on YouTube. And
I've been arrested. I've been arrested and sat in a cell when I didn't need to. I could have apologized to the judge any time during my 5-day sentence.
Who said anything about apologizing?
This is what I'm telling you, that I sat in jail and I didn't apologize, because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make a difference. But either way, man, laws are supposed to be passed constitutionally, which doesn't mean the process. It means they have to be passed in line with the Bill of Rights. So basically, when any gun law is passed, it's passed in violation of the Second Amendment. When any search and seizure law is passed that requires somebody not to have a warrant from a court, that's in violation of the Fourth Amendment. And all of these, what is it called? Eminent domain laws, they're illegal because the property owner is the only person who can really dictate what is a just compensation for their property. And the Fifth Amendment says that if the government's going to take it, you have to be justly compensated. So all of these laws are unconstitutional. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
So two things on that. First of all, when those laws were first proposed, I think we can be fairly certain that someone challenged their constitutional quality, the constitutionality of those laws. Somebody smarter than you, smarter than me, and that's how laws get passed. And then the second thing is, if you think they're illegal, then bring some charges, file a complaint. Let's if they're illegal, you're claiming they're illegal, let's see you have a court agree with you, because they won't, because you're
No, that's fine. Look, so I'll tell you, like, I get it, man. You think that the government is going to make the right decision. I do want to point out, this is not my main point, but you said that people that are smarter than me and you are making the decisions. Dude, Joe Biden's been in the Senate ever since, I think it's the 70s. So I want to think about that. But let's check this out. So the Bill of Rights.
After this point, Craig, I'm going to have to move on to someone else. But
well, I've got to make this point, though.
Make your point.
If
and
not,
then I'll
it's not a debate. It's just him saying.
No, for sure. I'll make your point. Then he'll do a closing remark, and then we'll move on to the next guest.
Okay. So for about, I'd say 2 decades after the Constitution was passed, there were new members of Congress, but generally it was how it is today. There were no term limits, so a lot of people kept getting reelected. So the constitutional, or sorry, I should say the Senate and the Congress, right? They were just basically, they were containing the same members as the people who passed the Constitution, more or less. Like there were a lot of them. So the Constitution was passed in I think it was 1780 or 1770 something, 1780 something. But the Bill of Rights was passed December 15th, 1791. Now it wasn't even a decade after. Now look, it was, yeah, I did, because I don't know this stuff off the top of my head. I don't think you guys did either. But so not even a decade after that, 1798 there was a law passed called the Alien and Sedition Acts. Now this got through the same Congress that passed the Bill of Rights. It got through the same president that was in I very well may be wrong, but John Adams, I think, was a representative for Virginia when the Revolutionary War was going on. And the Alien and Sedition Acts were a series of laws that basically said if you speak in a seditious way about the Congress or the President of the United States, you could be jailed in a federal prison for up to 2 years or fined a fine of $2,000, which back then was closer to $100,000 nowadays. So
yeah, but
just
Craig, there's
something is
just one thing. Sorry,
Congress,
there's like 7 people waiting. Just get to your point, man.
Yeah. Listen, just because something's made it through the Supreme Court, because the Supreme Court never knocked this law down, the Congress ratified it as a constitutional law, and the president signed off on it. He didn't veto it. Just because all those things happen doesn't mean a law hasn't been passed in violation of the Bill of Rights. This is clearly a restriction on free speech, and that is clearly a violation of the Constitution. So just because the judges uphold it, man, it doesn't mean that I'm wrong. It just means that they're bad judges, right?
All right.
So
well,
I just have to leave you with that, man. Nice talking to you, brother. Have a good day.
All right. Well, ICBM, any closing remarks? Anyways, let's just.
Well, yeah, I'll be brief. I'll be brief. Again, you're characterizing it to support your own weird point, but what happens with those things is that someone will challenge that and say it's unconstitutional, and it gets to court, and then they look at it again. It's happened many times. They've repealed lots of.
It never did. This was the law that was in.
I'm familiar with the Alien. I'm familiar with the Alien Sedition Act. I know exactly.
Right, then you'll know that it stayed lawful all the way up until Jefferson's term.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, you are no one to determine what's constitutional and what's not. You're no one to do that. You're just some kid with a YouTube channel.
Yeah, George Washington said at the Constitutional Convention that he said that this document is not that which needs to be interpreted by legal scholars. This is a document that can be interpreted by the common man.
All right, I'm gonna have to cut it off
here.
Thank you,
my time is up. Thank you, Fraud Troll, for what
thank you so much, and
hey,
thank you for the support.
ICBM catcher or whatever it is, man. Have a good one.
Thank you. Take care. All right, so the smoking auditor for $2. Thank you very much for the support. Yeah, everybody for the link. Right now, the StreamYard is full with a queue of 7 people. So we're gonna have to go through the people before there's more space. So as soon as there's more space, I'll put the link, and no need to donate. There's no need to donate to come talk to Craig and debate Craig. It's an open debate for anybody to come. All right. So anyways, thank you so much, the smoking auditor. Now, I know Papa Chuck has been coming for me for the last 30 minutes. You're very eager.
Yeah.
So how's it going, Papa Chuck? Oh, Jesus. All right. Okay, you have a little bit of feedback going on there.
You got a fan going on or something, Papa?
Yeesh. Okay.
Okay, next.
Look, me and my supporters we frequent technical issues, so.
Yeah, I can tell.
Is that better? My AC's on.
Not really, but what's going on?
I think it's better.
It's acceptable.
It's a little better.
So how's it going, Papa Chuck?
It's not going too badly. Sorry, I don't know what to do.
Oof. All right.
Is it that bad? All right, let me try something else. Hold on a second.
No, you're good there. So what's going on? What's up, man?
Oh, he's gone. Okay, next.
No. We're not gonna give him the full time. It's tweaker time. Yeah. It's all right. It's all right. How's it going, man? What's up?
Okay, so first of all, a lot of those people that were in here, like that Smitty dude, like you're crazy, dude. You can't just start swinging on people just because they upset you. That's
Well,
just
Smitty ain't here. Smitty ain't here. I thought you were coming for me. What did I do? To
Oh,
piss you
I am.
off?
I
What's
am.
going
It's just I got some other things to clear up because I had to sit through a lot of that other crap. And I CBM catcher, dude. You're crazy too. Okay, you're absolutely wrong.
on?
All
Okay,
right,
everybody's crazy. Okay, moving on. All right.
moving on. All right, so you guys want to sit there, like fraud or troll, for example. You want to sit there and just criticize everybody and call it commentary. That's fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody has a problem with that, I guess. I mean, what really bothers me about it is just how wrong you are in your commentary. It's crazy. You throw out words like assault, harassment, and all he does is walk in there and ask questions. Now, if these people get upset because they're not used to being on camera, not his fucking problem.
Hold on. Let's speak facts. Harassment, that's my opinion of what Craig is doing, and I'm writing that, and people can choose to disagree or not. Assault, I've never said Craig assaulted anybody. So unless you have a
You
specific
said
video you're talking about,
assault
I'm not,
people by putting the camera in their face. That's what you said.
no.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
Well,
I mean,
just
timestamp,
doesn't-
video, tell me when that happened. I never said someone by putting a camera in their face they're assaulting someone. Anyways,
It was this
next
video.
next point. This video.
It was this video. Yeah, you said this video. Yeah.
Well,
This,
luckily it's recorded. I'm gonna have to go back on that. But so you said said that frauditors are assaulting people by putting cameras in their face. Let me know in the comments. Maybe I'm getting old, you know. I just turned 31. Maybe I'm getting senile, but I don't think I said that.
Okay.
Craig,
Anyway,
did I say that? Craig.
Hi, Susan.
I
Go
like
ahead.
honestly don't remember like a lot of stuff that
Okay,
was
so
said,
that's
but if Papa
probably
Chuck
a
really
no,
is adamant that he
because if
heard
he
it, I'm
said
not
it,
gonna say
Craig
that he's
would
lying.
be all over it.
But-
Oh well, if I did say that, I didn't mean it like that. Sometimes I misspeak, but no. Shoving a camera, as long as it doesn't touch a person, is not assault. And I've never said that in the videos. Sometimes when I do live streams, you know, I mess up my words, record a video. Sometimes I have to re-record it to just get it 100% right. But no, of course, filming someone is not assaulting. Of course not. And it's not harassment depending on how you do it, depending on what else happens.
So it's a form of harassment.
Yeah, it depends on how they do it.
I just
And the
think I really
frauditors
have-
do it to harass. But anyway, sorry to cut you off. What's your next point?
You're fine. My next point, I guess, I would have to say, would be the fact that you guys, as much as you don't like what he does, you should really appreciate it. Because I'm telling you right now, right, swear on my children's lives, okay? If you guys keep going down the road America's going, you're going to end up like this guy living up here in Canada, where your government is secretly passing bills through the night, okay? That to restrict what you see on the internet. They did that on Tuesday. My country's going to shit. And I get to sit here and watch your guys' country just battle it out and fight it out. And I'm like, dude, do you know how much better that country would be if all those people were on the same page? But you got people like you who like to sit there and just, I guess I'll get my views and I'll just start ripping apart everything good, because the cops are not good. They're not.
Guess
None of
guess
them are
what?
fucking
Hold
good.
on.
None
Okay,
of them.
relax.
No. No,
Okay.
you should be as angry as I am. The cops are fucked. The system is fucked. You want to know
They're
why
bad.
people want to fucking get mad about anarchy? We've been doing society for fucking how long? Let's give it a shot. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? At
Well,
the
I
end of
give
the
a shit.
day-
I give a shit
I mean,
as
I
well,
give a
to be
shit.
honest with
I have a
you.
family
Fuck
to
that.
protect.
Yeah,
So
Fuck that.
seriously.
You want
Okay.
another Joe Biden? You want another Donald Trump? You want another Hillary Clinton or a Nancy Pelosi? For what? They don't do any good for you. They sit there and make laws and fuck your lives up, and you just sit there and say, no, they're totally right. Absolutely. And you want to know something? Here you go. CH1, buy some fucking weed, bro, because I'm a drug dealer too now, I guess.
Is
All
that
right, so-
cookies?
No, it's fucking straight up weed. The thing is,
Yeah,
I
but
can't
I just
fucking
want to
let
say
my
something.
people
1
sit
second.
there
1
and tear
second.
on these people.
Papa Chuck, just a
Fucking
second.
employees. They're being
Papa Chuck.
paid.
Papa Chuck, can I say something?
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I think you're hilarious. I think we should bring you in
do
more
you have a
often.
YouTube channel?
Yeah, you're
Let's
hilarious.
make videos on you now.
I don't want to encourage you, but you sound
I'll
like
be
you'd
honest.
be a good frauditor.
Look, hey, I know you guys are gonna say, you know, you went crazy. But Papa Chuck's been on plenty of my panels, and he never gets this angry unless somebody's
I've
being
never
ridiculous.
once in my life have I gone on the internet and screamed like that. Never.
Yeah.
Like, I'm literally almost shaking here because I'm like, these guys need to wake the fuck up. We have Justin Trudeau, who is the biggest dictator ever, and you guys have people like, if I wanted to do audits, you can't do that shit in Canada. You get arrested, 100%. And
Yeah,
it's
they have different
They think that's good though. It's good.
Charter of Rights
They
and
have
Freedom.
different laws. No, I'm not saying we should take the laws from the Canadians.
You're gonna.
I'm not saying
You're
that,
gonna.
but there should be a little middle ground. But anyways, you're hilarious, man. You're something. Send me an email. We'll bring you in another time. That's for damn sure, because you're funny. You're funny. I haven't laughed like that in a while. You know what it remind me of? It remind me of those gamer rage compilations. You know where they break their TV with baseball bats and shit? They get so angry at the game. Well, you're getting so angry at whatever was going on right there.
Yeah, whatever.
So anyways, it's passion, but it's funny.
I'm pissed off because people shouldn't be sitting here doing what you're doing. You shouldn't. You
Yeah,
should be
but
out there
we
with your
don't
own
think
camera.
that people
You
should be
out there
sitting here doing what
Frank is
you're doing.
Exactly. We don't
Right,
think that
the
people,
only,
like
the
my
only
wife said.
difference is we don't ask guys with guns to, throw you into walls and hurt you and throw you.
Well, I don't commit crime, so it's not gonna happen.
Exactly.
Yeah, neither do we. Neither do we, man.
Well, I would argue that a lot of frauditors commit crimes while doing auditings. But that being said, Papa Chuck, I'm glad you came for me, quote unquote. That was hilarious. And I don't know how I'm gonna recover, man. I'm wounded. Yeah. Oh man, you got me so good. It's
Hey,
crazy.
thanks for coming up, Papa Chuck. Nothing wrong with a little bit of passion. Anybody who doesn't have passion about their beliefs probably hasn't thought them through very well.
Yo, that was
I'm
hilarious.
tired of watching people get fucked over by the government. Sorry.
Yeah.
I
No,
can't.
you're
All right,
good,
take
man.
care, man.
All good. Thanks for coming up, Papa Chuck.
Yeah, thanks.
I'll see you back in my chat.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, Craig, how much time do you have for this debate? Because the line just keeps getting longer and longer and longer.
Let's go till like 9:40 and then let's wrap it up.
Oh, so okay, so 40 minutes?
Yeah, about 40 minutes.
All right, okay.
Here, I have a question. Did you ask my question?
Are you in line though?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your question?
Yeah. Did you ask my question?
No, what was your question?
My question is, where is Ty, and do you ever let Ty talk? That's my
Ty
question.
actually. I don't let Ty do anything. Ty does exactly what he wants to. He's known that the link is there. Ty just really he's kind of like I think that people have been making comparisons to like some duos or something. I think it's Jay and Silent Bob or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I've never seen the movie, but he explained it to me like this. Jay does a lot of talking, but when Silent Bob says something, he's got some meaning to it or something like that.
Yeah, so. Jay never stops.
Well, because I heard Ty talk, and it never had that much impact. It was kind of a letdown, to be honest. So hopefully he's going to change that for the future, because you guys couldn't. I'm not trying to give you tips on how to be a better frauditor. I would never do that. But as a YouTuber, you could have something where it would be funny if he said something powerful. But last time he said something to a public official, it was huge letdown. I was very disappointed. That being said, bring in the next guest. We have Falls a lot. How's it going?
Good, thank you. How are you doing today?
Very good. And you?
I'm doing good, man.
Good. Thanks, Chad. You having a good day?
Yeah, man. How about yourself?
It's good, thanks. There were three things I wanted to talk to you about. You strike me as someone who wants to come across as intelligent, and you are good at memorizing words. But when I listen to the way in which you formulate arguments and retorts, you scream of ignorance and stupidity. So I will try to use small words and concepts to advance bigger ones in order to, no worries. So I have three issues. The first are going to be things that I disagree with you. The third are something that I will disagree with. I will agree with you on, to a degree to which most people in the fraud editor community would disagree with. So, anyways, so the first issue is human civilization, right? So we started off in the Stone Age. Why did we develop civilization?
People started figuring out how to prosper while staying in one place.
That's it?
Yeah, farming was invented, and the need to move around from place to place was basically not necessary. And then after that, we figured out how to divide labor so one person could farm, another person could create tools, they could master their crafts, and then society would be more productive as a result of it.
And why was the division of labor so important for the development of society?
Because people are, I guess because people are better at, if they just focus on mastering one thing than if they're trying to farm, build their own house, make their own tools, stuff like that. You know, it's more prosperous to divide the labor.
I'm dumber now than I was, but in the second grade, my IQ was clocked at 149. I have a mesomorphic body type, and I was really athletic. It came as what Dober would call a blinding shock of the obvious one day, when I realized that no matter how smart I was, no matter how fit I was, no matter how ruthless I was, I couldn't beat the group. The individual will always succumb to the power of the group. This is why we have societies. Because if you live in a Stone Age, every man for himself society, everyone has to fight to live. If that happens, then you enter into a conflict with someone. If you enter into a conflict with someone, that conflict has to be resolved. That conflict is resolved at a level of Maslow's hierarchy. Are you familiar with that?
I mean, I'm familiar with what you're talking about. I mean, I don't know about the whole hierarchy model that you're talking about, but as far as
So if you and I get into a fight, right? We have to appeal back to Maslow's hierarchy, and it starts at base levels of can you live or die, and at the very top it goes up to existential levels of what's your understanding of life. The person who's willing to fight at the more base level will always win. So if you want to fight anarchists with full ideas, you will lose to the guy who will slit your throat every fucking time.
And anarchists believe in what is it? It's a non-aggression principle. So I don't think
that runs completely antithetical to evolution. Evolution says that the strong will prey upon the weak, and thus will be able to reproduce, and thus pass along their genes to down generations.
Well, that's
this
fine,
is how
but I think
works.
guns are kind of
what your problem is you are embracing anarchy like people embrace communism. Communism would be great if people weren't selfish. They are, so things get messed up. If people loved each other, if people were content to let everyone have the same and not want more than their neighbor, then yeah, anarchy would be great. But that's not the world we live in. And to assume we do is to ignore millions of years of evolution. So to think that anarchy is even possible, and as a second point, given our millions of years of evolution, how many anarchist states do you see extant and globally which are stable?
How many?
Which ones?
Government? How many? None.
No, stop. Right.
How many
government's anarchy, it's all evolutionary.
How many government-run states do you see?
It's all states of evolutionary, right? And the fact that there's no anarchic states is because they are all weaker than governmental state.
Sorry, I just want to chime in
the
just for a
government
second.
of the states won't let it happen.
Sorry, guys, I just want to chime in. I calculated for there to be time for everybody in the waiting room. We're gonna have to do like 5 or 6 minutes. So try to wrap up in like a few minutes. Falls alarm.
Cool, thanks. All right. So one, anarchic states have been driven out of existence through an evolutionary process that exists at an economic and governmental level.
No.
which drove us from the Stone Age to where we're at now. Okay, so one, you're an idiot there. Two, forums. Okay, so as a First Amendment auditor, you're a constitutional scholar, yes?
No. I'm
Okay,
an
so
anarchist.
okay, so
I mean, it
let's talk
doesn't
about
take a scholar though.
so
to
so
read the
so when
Constitution,
when you talk about when you talk about filming,
are you gonna let me answer? Or are you just gonna keep it?
when you talk about filming from publicly accessible areas,
Okay.
what does publicly accessible mean? Is there just private and public? Is that just it?
Publicly accessible means anywhere that I can access being a member of the public.
But is everything that's not private public?
What?
There's 3 levels of public. He's asking you which one.
If you know what they are and how they apply to your auditing.
Oh, I don't care what the government classifies. I'm saying that anything that I can access.
So you therefore
acting.
I see where you're going, and you're a simple guy.
No, it's fine.
So you are acting by definition against the law. So you're acting by definition
in
defiance of the law while claiming that you're supporting the Constitution. You're acting from the core in hypocrisy. All right, the final area, and this is where we will agree for 1 second.
Okay.
Is
Yeah,
I am a massive liberal snowflake. What I've enjoyed about watching what I've enjoyed about watching frauder videos is that while I believe fervently in the need for police reform as it was, I see it now as needing more from that top down, because I have watched the just gruesome way in which you treat these officers. And while absolutely there's some bad cops, the problem is a rot in the structure which defines the system. A system which began when the police were recruited from Civil War days of the Confederacy and slave catchers. That is the basis of the problem, which drives the inequality, which drives mass shootings and the creation of 2 environments, one for Black people and one for the rest, in which police feel threatened and therefore shoot too fast.
Great. All right, man. Sounds good. Well, thanks for coming up, brother. We appreciate having you. Have a good one. And
if you ever see,
thanks for hopping in.
Who can throw? Don't. You're a marshmallow, man. If you ever meet someone who wants more than intellectual debate, you will be you'll be on the floor. Just.
I've been to county jail. Keep bumbling.
I've been through a coma.
Okay.
I've been through a coma. I served as a medic in a war zone. Do you want to talk about
you can serve in a medic?
Do you want to talk about what blood smells like?
Nobody's impressed, buddy.
Do you want to talk about what ruthless really means?
I don't care. I don't really care.
No, I'm sorry. I just
pause a lot. Yeah, thank you so much, but we have to move on to the next person. But you're welcome to come back next time, because I think this is it's interesting to have people hop in and talk to Craig and confront him on some cases. So hopefully we'll do this again.
I'll sit through it, but what this guy's doing is just talking at me. That was not a debate session, but that's fine. People want to get stuff off their chest. They want to do it to me. I'm not.
We have to move on to the next one. But thank you so much for hopping by, Falls a lot. Thank you very much. And next we have my good friend Bean. Oh, what are you doing over there? What the hell? Well, how's it going, man? You're exploding. Yeah.
I'm just here for the chicks.
You were holding your breath the whole time you were waiting, weren't you?
Yeah, of course. Of course, I'm complaining. Hey, Jack, how you doing?
How are you doing, brother?
I got a question for you.
All right.
It's actually a couple of them.
Okay.
You're 30. You're in your 30s, right?
Yeah. No. Sorry, Bean. I just want to say, because we're running towards the end, we're gonna keep it at 5 minutes per guest. So
got it.
Yeah, try to get it done.
I am 23.
23. Okay. Good. I was around, in the 80s when we actually had anarchists roaming the streets in all of Europe. So we actually had an anarchist movement going, Spain, England, Berlin, you name it. And we actually went through the blocks after block and occupied the empty houses that were held by speculators. What do you think about that?
I'm not familiar with it. I know that a lot of people in Europe tie anarchism to communism, and it couldn't be anything farther from it. So if you're talking about an anarcho-communist movement,
I know,
I'm not familiar.
I know the complete difference there because there was two sides.
Yes.
And it was very,
I'm
very
not familiar
intimidating.
with it, man. I'm really not familiar with the movement. I'd have to do some research.
Okay, cool. No, that's a great answer for once. I can appreciate that. No, so number one is you look like a Spanish guy because you dress way too nice for an anarchist. All right. And when when you want to, you speak very eloquent and calm and comforting. So it surprises me when I watch your videos, how much of a letdown it is for me how you treat the people. And it's two different people. You say you're the same person. And I don't think so. I think there's two different people. The one on the camera is totally different than the one that's sitting here right now.
Well, I am talking to you. You're not a public employee, and you're not trying to tell me what to do. So I can be pleasant with people that are like that. But when people get to tell me what to do, it's a different thing. Unless I'm on their property. If someone tells me what to do on their property, I can leave or I can do it, right?
So do you do these kind of jobs also where you actually live in your own governmental agencies?
Yeah. We actually started out there, yeah.
And you have never been reprised of any sort of action because of it?
You mean like retaliated against?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not locally. Like there was actually at one time when I was living in Linton that a guy pulled me over for a license plate light out, but I'm not going to sit here and say he was retaliating. He may just have been pulling.
Okay, that's a copy. I'm talking like the secretaries in these governmental properties where you're going into and, you expect them to act a certain way, have access to them. They have never treated you or let you down in any sort of,
Oh, like you mean like been nice to me?
No, the opposite way. When you went in and did your auditing and you got into it with them, and you have never been reprised against them from them?
I'm not sure that I understand what you're saying. Maybe it's because I don't understand the definition of the word reprisal.
Retaliated. That's the word you guys use there.
No, not from secretaries. No.
Well, that's
they're all actually super nice. Like most of the time after I explain what I'm doing, usually they're super nice, but some of the times they're rude, but that's the extent of it. They never try to do anything more than that.
So we're just getting to see the worst of the worst. That's what you're putting out.
No, plenty of times we put it on like just because the initial interaction was bad, and then we show how they shape up. There's actually been times where I do revisits and they've been much better in the revisit, and we put those out there. So there are times when we put the good ones out there. There are some bad ones that I haven't.
I've never seen that on your channel.
Well, you should look up on our channel. The name of the video is called "Officer Does His Job the Right Way." I believe I'll get the.
So it's one video, just one video.
No, there's plenty of videos. Like when the chief came and set his officers straight. So it's called "Cop Does His Job the Right Way." There's videos where let's see.
That's all right, man. You can tell these people after me.
We'll tell them on our time. So
I'm all done here, guys. Get the next one in. I appreciate it. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you so much for being understanding.
Have a good one.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your patience. We'll see you on the next one. All right. Next, we have Felon filming 5-0. So that's obviously not for Craig. So how's it going, Felon?
Hey, how's it going there? What's up, Craig?
Not much, brother. How you doing?
You know. I'm glad I got to get up here. I thought he was going to block me and not let me on. Keep it one-sided
pretty
again.
good about this, man.
Of course not. Of course not. It's all
right.
Who gets in first. So what's up? How's it going?
Well, check this out, Fraud Troll. Let me ask you a couple things.
Sure.
Do you appreciate our Constitution?
Of course I do.
Do you would you agree that we would not be where we are if it wasn't for martyrs, people that stood up for the rights that we have today?
Yes, unfortunately, there needed to be some martyrs to expose bad things happening in the country. Yeah, I agree.
Unfortunately, you say? But
yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
all right. Why is it you have such a disdain for my boy Craig here?
A disdain? No, I don't care about Craig. I don't like what he does, but I don't care. I don't have a disdain for him as a person. I just think, and I'm not the only one that thinks that. I just think frauditing is dumb and it's a little bit hypocritical. And I point it out and I laugh at it. That's what I do.
Well, what is dumb about holding public representatives accountable?
No, there's nothing dumb about that. It's how it's done, because
Exactly.
it's how it's done. For example, cop watching, when people are watching cops, just saying, hey, cops, we're watching you, you know, be on your best behavior from a safe distance. I'm all for it. Go for it. When
Yeah,
cops are doing some, yeah, when cops are doing
but then you're
something
not getting
wrong,
the actual reaction if you're like, hey, by the way, you're being watched, be on your best behavior. Why should
no,
it
no,
even have to
they
be
might
like that?
act.
They see the camera anyway.
They might act a
so-
little bit better, but let me just, he's trying to understand why we started doing this and why, in your opinion, we have disdain for frauditors, where I understand, in your opinion, they're champions of justice. I would just like you to see a couple of SGV news video, a couple Glenn serial video, and then you can get back to me.
CH and Ty video.
Hey, I
CH and
follow
Ty is not on
CH.
the worst. Yeah, he's not on the worst. He's not on the lowest rung. CH and Ty, if I would be fair, like I would put you like halfway down the ladder. You're not on the lowest rung. I'll
Would
say
you
that.
not? I mean, come on. Now, not only does CH like have commentary that is, you know, it's funny as hell when you're watching it, but he does drop knowledge on these guys. A lot of these auditors out there, they go stand up for our rights, but they don't really right the cane. You know, Craig will literally, when he says he's here to educate, that's not a joke. If
No,
these
that's
people
fine.
would
That's
listen to
fine.
Things he's saying, they would catch some education out of it.
Oh, it seems like someone had an echo for a second. No, that's fine. Like, you know, sometimes they're telling, you know, a public official something they didn't know, and that's fine. And yeah, people maybe shouldn't be that scared of cameras, but it's all about how you do it. So for Craig, I'm not going to make videos on him for everything he does. I'm just going to pick certain incidents. But why we started doing this is because of the movement in general. The movement in general is a pile of shit. Like, I just watch a SGV news channel video. All he does is he stays there in the middle of the street and records regular people walking down or working. He records them, and as soon as they say, hey, why are you recording me? He goes, shh, shh, sasatai, and makes up some stupid words. He's an honest piece of shit. That guy.
I've seen SVG, and honestly, all he's doing is filming in public. People, see, that's where I want to. That's where I hope I could reach you guys, is because the issue that seems to happen a lot of times is generated from your side of the table. You guys have the issues with being on camera. You guys have the issue with being held accountable. It's not the frauditor, as you like to call them. It's the auditor that's there just doing what we are legally allowed to do.
They're not there doing a job. They're there trying to get clicks.
It doesn't matter.
They're exploiting a loophole on YouTube. They're exploiting a loophole because what happens is that
people that are at work try and get a reaction.
Look, hold on. I'm gonna show you a link. I don't know if I can pull it up here, but there's the time where SGV News and Downey, they were there was a woman that does tour guides in LA and in Hollywood, and then she was doing tour guides, and they're by her booth, they're like sticking the camera in her face, and then she's like, first she approached like, what are you guys doing? They're being asshole. She left. They followed her around. They followed her physically and with their camera, and then she got so pissed off to the point where she smacked their camera. And then what they do? Oh, we call the police. We call the police. Like the same.
Okay, you've got a one-off. Let's say you got a one-off with them. Let's talk about our boy Craig here. Have you ever seen Craig, in general, go up and what would we say?
Absolutely.
Yeah. He goes in
100%.
public offices. He
Yeah.
tries to get a reaction, and he's good at it. And once he gets a bite, he latches on. And yeah, he's
Exactly.
trying to go into a debate of the laws and what is allowed and
Yeah.
and he likes to go.
Like I see
Yeah.
whatever. Look at his
Yeah,
I'm the
impersonation.
best.
Yeah,
He's the best.
yeah,
I-
and then
But
he
why
goes
is
into
that-
into creepy basements just to get a reaction. There's
and
nothing
I
interesting.
watched a CH5 video today, and he goes into the office. Nobody's really paying any attention to him, so he's like they're like videotaping the walls and like
It's
you know, like just trying to.
And then he goes and tries to record on their computers, on their personal notes, and it's like nobody does that. They're not expecting you to come in and barge in like it's your place.
But they
No,
come at him,
no.
correct?
Yeah.
No, they don't. He comes at them.
Oh man,
They're
I'm not
like
trying to
minding
give
their
you more
own
time
business.
than everybody else. 1 second.
Hey,
Craig, can you
hey,
have
I don't
at
want
least
any
till
more
10?
time
At
than I
least-
just
at
have
least
one
till
more
10?
question. One
Yeah,
more
go ahead,
question.
Go
And
ahead.
does your wife know that you're as obsessed with Craig as you really are, or is that something you just keep alone in the closet there, bud?
Oh, my wife is not jealous, man. My wife
Is it
not
is it a
jealous.
tag team obsession, or because I noticed that?
He has his little shrine of Craig in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for letting me come on and speak. I really appreciate it, Craig.
And
I'll
shoot
see you
the shit,
tomorrow.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Hey.
see you tomorrow, Jeff, or Fallon Philly 50.
All right, buddy.
Yes. Sounds
Yeah,
good,
and
man.
I did want to say I don't mean to sound like a cop, but look, some of the bad ones, they spoil it for all of us, don't they?
What? I'm not sure I'm catching that.
Some-
SGV.
Oh,
yeah, some of those
SGV.
bad
Yeah.
auditors, man, they spoil
But-
it for everyone.
Yeah, but you guys should do a better job at denouncing them. Don't leave it just to us. Like, look, on my channel on Red Blue Cam, we're denouncing if there's bad cops. Why don't you do the same and denounce bad auditors?
It's because, really, my whole thing is that people can do what they want. The system that we've got right now, we've got public property. As long as they're not hurting, stealing, vandalizing, it's not my style to speak out about it. Like, I get that some of it's not morally correct, but it's the system that we have now, and it's like, I speak out about moral wrongdoings, but it's not my channel's content to do it in private.
Yeah, I just it would be great if except like everybody's bashing Chili now. That's the thing. Let's bash Chili.
I was bashing Chili before it was.
Oh no, I know that, but what about bashing SGV? What about bashing PayPal Patty and Glenn and the Diddler, News Now Houston? This guy's a pedophile and he's a frauditor and he's like, he's one creepy guy. Anyways, that's for another.
Yeah, I've heard
story.
about News Now Houston. There's been some talk.
No, News Now Diddler. Address him by his name, please.
Diddler.
Yeah, News Now Diddler.
I didn't know that. But yeah, News Now.
You know what's a diddler, right?
He's been denounced by a few people, and there are auditors that I wouldn't work with. So, but let's keep going.
Okay.
We've got room for
let's keep
people,
going.
So.
We have 3 more people. Hezekiah, how's it going, man?
Hezekiah.
Yeah. Again, what's that?
Nothing. How's it going, brother?
I'm good. Yeah, I just actually did a video last night where I took your live stream where you went over frauditor trolls videos and kind of tried to respond to what you were saying about some of that stuff.
So you trolled me trolling somebody that had trolled me.
Yeah, I guess you could put it that
will
way.
send you into the Matrix.
Hey, good job though, brother. Good job.
Inception.
That took forever, man. That video was over an hour. Anyway, so again, always there's so much time and trying to keep up with everything. And I was taking notes the whole time. There's so many things I wanted to bring up, so I got to try and pick and choose. I want to kind of get off the anarchy thing for a minute, just because it seems like there's been so much of that. So one of the things I wanted to get to with you is when you talk about the point that some of the other people are trying to make. You talk about cops do this, cops do that, cops. But then you walk into a building and you start going to all the ladies that work there and like, okay, yeah, I get your point when you're saying, oh, well, they're a public servant. But like in the video where you walked into the vault, oh, well, it was open. Okay, so
yeah, too bad it didn't lock you in there like some other frauditors.
Right, but I mean, seriously, like, you really expect us to believe that you're so stupid that you can't recognize that you're not supposed to go in an open vault? Like, you're not supposed to be aware of that, like, just with common sense?
No, I mean, I'll be honest. When I walked into that door, I did not observe that. Like, I did not look at the open door. I didn't know it was a vault until they said it. But they made it obvious quite shortly after. But on a counterpoint, like, I don't mean to answer a question with a question. Like, well, I guess I'll answer it. I don't expect you to believe that I'm stupid enough to not understand that vaults are there for a reason. But I would like to say that the public servants that are keeping the vault are stupid enough to keep a vault with sensitive information open with no restricted access signs or anything.
Right. But so when they ask you to leave, that's what they're trying to do. Yeah. Like, you refusing to leave because they're giving you directives. No, you're saying, well, they should let people know you're not supposed to go in the vault. But when they do, they're giving you unlawful directives.
Well, what I'm trying to do, yeah, it's unlawful directives because they didn't keep it secured. They didn't make it restricted. So, but what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to let them know that, you can't just look at somebody that's in a place you don't like and say, hey, I don't want you back here. I know there's no signage, but I don't feel like you should be back here. So get out of here. Like, they got to do things their way. And even so, if I just left after that, they might think, well, there's no need for a sign or anything. We can just tell people to leave. So it's
sorry to chime in. I just need to chime in for a sec. Craig, do you have till at least 10? Because there's another content creator, Keeping It Criminal, and he does content like this too. And he wanted to ask you some questions too. So do you have till 10?
I would actually defer my time for Kick.
Oh, all right then. Okay.
Let's go till 9:50. Let's give the next person the rest of until their 5 minutes, and then let's
give 3 more people. So okay, so that makes it till exactly 10. All right. So thanks so much, Hezekiah. I'm gonna move on to
thanks, Hezekiah.
Yeah, Green Machine for 3 minutes. Okay, sorry to give you so little time, but we'll do this again down the road. So what's up, Green Machine?
How's it going?
Okay, Green Machine, you're not there?
Nice.
Sorry, man. Okay, and our NCRD's network, how's it going, man?
Hello.
Just 3-4 minutes, okay? Sorry about that.
Thank you. Well, first, thank you for letting me come on here. I just have to ask Craig a simple question about the ethics and practices that the A1 community uses, but yet they don't understand how this makes them look bad. The 3 examples to bring up real quick are Broken System, Broken Trust, Freaking Media, and Michigan Constitutionalist leaked video from February 9th of this year where they said the only reason they went to the medical examiner's office was to harass the cops to get them to react. And that video was leaked and covered by many people who do the same kind of content that I do, as far as the troll, Keeping It Criminal, the Schroeder's Kid. How can you say their actions of intentionally causing problems for people is okay?
Well, I never said that, but I do think that, my own personal belief is that it's kind of impossible to harass a public employee.
That's where we disagree. You can harass anybody if you try hard enough. And
well, while they're in their public capacity, if they're on their private property, you can definitely harass them. But working for while they're on the clock, I don't believe that. But sorry, go ahead.
The words that Freaking Media said to Broken System, Broken Trust in the leaked video was, "I'm mad at you for talking to the cops because you made them think we weren't a threat." Those were his words. So how can you say that doing audits the same way that they do, that a lot of auditors are doing? And I'm being respectful by saying auditor, not frauditor, because honestly, I think you guys are frauditors, but I will be respectful.
I know. Feel free to say frauditors. Craig doesn't give a shit.
He's not gonna allow that shit to slide on his. Go ahead. Use the word you want to use.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
it's free speech.
How can you also condone the actions of Patty, Texas Sheepdog, and News Now Omaha, who intentionally caused their case in Oklahoma?
I don't know. I'm not familiar with that.
That case is simple. They had News Now Omaha go to a halfway house. Hattie gave his phone to Texas Sheepdog to call the cops and report a suspicious person. They are being charged with that. They are in court with that one right now. And News Now Omaha is constantly doing his, oh, my back itches, or putting a gun case at a fire station. How can you say auditors or frauditors are being ethical and trying to fight for our First Amendment rights when they make it harder for us? When they do stuff like that.
I don't think all auditors are like, I'm not.
A lot of them do.
No, I'm saying I don't think all auditors are great. Like, this is why I don't know these people, probably because their content doesn't appeal to me. Probably because I've got ethical disagreements with them. Like, you'll never see me going and putting my video or my camera up to a private establishment's window. Some people call it window shopping. You just don't see me doing that because my beef isn't with the property owner. Those people are trying to elicit reactions, but I just focus on government, man. So I don't agree with every auditor. I don't agree with their ethics.
But you agree with the tactics that SVG News does, filming people who are not related to the government in any way. They go.
No, I don't condone that. No, I don't like that.
You said
NCR. I was gonna just one more minute, but just to let you know, I did put a plug for you in the comments, so for your channel.
And I said, look, I said I don't think that while you're on public property, there's no problem exercising your right in any manner. But what I'm saying is I don't believe that public property is right. That's what anarchism is. So you see, I agree that while there is the Constitution and the government has laid out rules for themselves, they have to follow it. But I don't agree with the government. I don't agree with their rules. So in my world of anarchy, that stuff wouldn't happen because it would all be private, and the private property owners would make rules that anybody who enters them would have to respect or face consequences from the property owner.
Now,
all right, closing remarks, NCR.
Yes, my closing remark is this. I will agree with you. If it's private property in your anarchy rules, that's fine. But I'm talking about going to private businesses that have nothing to do with the government or churches and harassing the people there. That's where we draw the line. I will admit wholeheartedly we need people to exercise our rights, but there's ways of doing it without being aggressive and harassing people.
Yeah, I agree. Yep.
All right. Thanks so much, man. NCR. I put a plug for you in the comments. And thank you so much. All right, so we have 10 minutes left. So here's Kick. And there's also Mr. Carroll in the background. I don't know. I hope Craig will have enough time for you. This is the prosecutor you met last time. But here's Kick.
Hi, Craig.
Hey. How's it going?
I'm doing fairly well. And you?
I'm doing all right, man.
Good. So I haven't really watched a lot of what you do. I've seen a couple of videos. I've got a little bit of information on you. And a few of the questions that I just haven't heard any answers to are, number one, why don't you stop selling marijuana?
Why don't I stop?
Looking back through your history over the past couple of years, you've had a few convictions regarding, or at least charges regarding the sale and possession of marijuana and an amount to distribute. And I'm just wondering why you have a proclivity to that type of behavior.
Because it's consensual. I don't do it right now. Like, full disclosure, I do not deal marijuana right now. Mm-hmm. But the reason is because it's totally consensual, consenting adults.
Even though it's against the law.
Well, just because somebody that's in Indianapolis says it's against the law doesn't mean that it's unconstitutional or that it's in any way wrong.
It's still a federal crime.
Okay. Well, I wasn't federally charged. So
understood. You were charged at the state level. And the states do have the opportunity to change that through legislation, which would be the appropriate method to use rather than just saying, I don't like it, so I'm going to do it anyway. Wouldn't you agree?
I believe that the states, according to the 14th Amendment, have to make laws that are in line with the Bill of Rights. So that marijuana law is against the Fifth Amendment.
And that's kind of a problem with your argument. You see, the Bill of Rights was developed at a time prior to the building of the Constitution.
Okay.
It was to go in hand with the Declaration of Independence, to hand over to the King of England, to show them that people have rights here rather than what they had in England. And so the Bill of Rights essentially became a dead document once the Constitution was developed. So by the Constitution being developed, and with the 10th Amendment granting the states the ability to create their laws
And then the
govern
14th
themselves,
Amendment repealing that ability.
that does not repeal that ability, because if it did, then there wouldn't be traffic violations. You wouldn't have people being arrested for murder, felony murder within states. You wouldn't have people getting arrested for felony rape.
No.
Well, those are not constitutional laws. Those are not constitutional laws.
How are they not?
Those are state laws. Those are state laws. They're dictated by the state constitution. They're dictated by.
In line with the Bill of Rights.
They may be in line with the Bill of Rights, but the Bill of Rights itself is dead. The Bill of Rights is a dead document. It is a historical referential document in the building of our country. The Constitution.
The Bill of Rights was passed after the Constitution, as was the Declaration. So
no. The Declaration of Independence was prior to the Constitution, sir. You have your history
as a
mixed up.
federal law. It is the
No,
first
it is
law.
not a federal law. The Bill of Rights was enacted, and if you read it, the Bill of Rights does actually mention, and I want you to pay attention to this part, a creator which has imbued us with these rights. Okay, now that type of language.
The Bill of Rights does not say that.
I highly recommend you go back and read.
No, I've
because
read it.
just follow the follow the
Independence.
Well, okay, fine. One of the two documents, then, sir, since I'll concede to whatever argument it is you want to have, okay, states that the Creator has imbued us with rights. Do you want to know why the Creator is not mentioned in the Constitution? Because implanting the Creator into either the Declaration or Bill of Rights, whichever document, which we ended up sending over to the King of England, was a fuck you to England, because as Americans, they were given the freedom of religion, which they didn't have when they lived in England. They were required to follow the church under English law. And so it was removed when the Constitution was drafted, and you do not see God or Creator because they did not want to push anyone away like England did by accepting all people of all religions and faiths. So when you look at these prior documents to when the Constitution was ratified and went into effect, in order to create the states as well as the state governments which dictate their laws, which was not repealed by the 14th Amendment, which is inept and ignorant, you will not find any of that type of language that matches those documents, aside from the core message that the rights of humans still exist. And that the Bill of Rights is not a living document. The Constitution is our governing document.
Okay, so you've had your chance to talk. Now it's my turn. All right.
Oh, please go ahead.
Okay, so the Declaration of Independence was the first law passed after the Constitution was ratified. Are you aware of that?
The Bill of Rights existed prior to the Constitution.
The Declaration
was
prior to the Constitution.
Declaration was built off of
ratified after the federal government was formed. The Declaration was the first law passed by the Congress.
You want to go into minutia about documents that were used to help separate us from England as opposed to the document that's used to govern our country today?
Look, I'm just saying, you said that it was.
You're arguing minutia.
No. Let me.
You're arguing minutia.
I just asked you if you're aware. Let me talk now.
You're arguing minutia. Can you get to the relevant portion?
No, I'm not.
Because the Declaration of Independence does not designate what we do today. That document was made to separate us from England. So why is that referential for you?
All right. If you're not going to let me talk,
well, if you're not going to say anything smart, you don't have anything to say.
Well, you didn't know that the Declaration was relevant after the Constitution.
You don't know what your fucking rights are.
I absolutely
You abuse the shit out of what little you understand. You're an
Okay, well,
ignorant
hey,
criminal with
okay.
several charges. Do you want me to read them off for you so that way people can know who you are?
Go ahead,
let's
man.
look at the drug and gun plea for lessers in 2020, December 30th. Oh, what about your Vigo County, Indiana case? Oh, let's talk about your stop sign deferrals in 2017, September 5th. Your 72-hour formal hold in 2021, April 15th. Another admission in 2021, August 23rd. Protective orders that are active as of October 13th of just last year. Oh, what about your trespass? Oh, and the OWI and drug that you got just shortly thereafter on November 24th, right around Thanksgiving? Oh, no. Let's talk about the drug lesser that happened in 2021, April 16th. You know, the one where you got cited for having too much fucking marijuana because you just don't want to follow the laws. You see, Craig, all you need to figure out is where on the doll did the police's laws and the state's laws hurt you, buddy? Where on the doll did they hurt your rights? Can you show us? Because you're ignorant.
That's fine, Kick. I'll let you talk a whole lot. You just try to deflect now.
Oh, there's no deflection. It's the truth.
It's public. Everybody can see it. But what I'm saying is
you have no credibility.
No, hold on, let me talk, buddy.
No, fuck you. You have no credibility. You have no reason to say anything.
If it's that way,
all you've done while you've been up here is boost your ego and put that shit-eating grin on your face like the piece of shit Zennial that you are, and pretend that you actually understand what you're talking about in order to rile up society like a fake fucking prank channel from YouTube 4 years ago to make money.
Hey, I get it, buddy. You're sore. It's okay. You can drop out.
There's nothing sore. It's just dumbasses like you that exist to exploit shit and make laws that harm
every time they tell
you.
To do something.
People like you get laws created and named after them that harm law-abiding citizens.
Yeah. And
that's
James
the problem
Freeman
with
is in my
you.
Chat. He makes a great point. So many people
James Freeman is an inept fuck twat.
Or how to debate.
Just like Rogue Nation.
Right? So that's fine.
You keep looking up to them. One day you're going to grow up. One day you're going to see the truth. And I highly suggest you get a fucking education because those people like Rogue and James Freeman, I wouldn't want even the worst people in the world to look up to them because they're fucking useless and so are you.
All right. That's fine. That's great. So,
all right, Kick, thanks so much for hopping on.
Hold on now. I want to make my points because you never let me talk. So
Go ahead.
The declaration was passed. The declaration was passed after the Constitution, meaning that the people that were in this legislature after the Constitution was passed thought it was important to pass a law that consisted of the exact same words as the Declaration of Independence. Not only that, he said the Bill of Rights preceded the Constitution. The Bill of Rights wasn't passed into law before the Constitution. The Bill of Rights was passed after the Constitution, right? So, but that's okay. That's all that I was saying. He was talking out his butthole. That's fine. You know, he can do whatever he wants. As I let him talk, I didn't get mad or anything. So, but Paul Carroll, let's try to have a little bit of a better discussion, man. Just for you, since you're one of my masters, you're a prosecutor in Ohio. We're gonna let you. I'm gonna stay on here until 10 o'clock, and then strictly at 10, I'm getting off of here.
Well, I certainly wouldn't consider myself the master of anybody, but
okay.
To counter your point there, the Declaration of Independence was ratified by Congress after the passing of the Constitution we have now, but that didn't make it a law. They recognized the document, but it's not legally binding. And that's a distinction I don't think a lot of people either know about or understand. But
I think that I'll be honest with you, Paul, you may be right. I'm going to look it up, but it was Judge Andrew Napolitano that told me that. So that's why I trust it, because it was the judge that told me. But you may be right. We'll look it up.
And don't get me wrong, it's certainly one of the most profound and influential documents on the spirit of the law, but it is not legally binding itself. But to not throw any directly combative questions at you, I was wondering, say your anarchic vision for society comes true, I assume you wouldn't be auditing on a YouTube channel if that were to happen. So what would you do?
probably go back to my forte. I'd probably sell the best weed in the land.
And
by the way, I did look it up, Paul, and I'm not a legal scholar. I know I made a claim to that in my most recent video, but I was mostly talking out my ass. But it does say here that Congress placed the Declaration at the beginning of the U.S. Code. Now, I don't know if that means that it is a law, but it is in the U.S. Code. So
yeah, I mean,
I don't know what that means. I'm kind of like asking, could you clarify, tell me what that means? I don't know.
It is part of the U.S. Code, but that doesn't mean that it's a law like the various sections of the U.S. Code after it. Like there's the code, or the U.S. codes will list no person shall do X, Y, or Z. That's not how the Declaration of Independence is written out to be. So there's not there's not like a legal enforceable provision within it, because I mean it was essentially just a great big middle finger to the King of England.
The just powers of government are derived from the consent of the governed. So one might find that to be legally binding against the government.
Right.
But let's not debate on that. We could talk about that. And I mean, I'm coming up here again. I'm sure you'll be available, so we can talk about that later. But did you have more questions about anarchy?
And I apologize if this has been asked before, but I would question you about the monopoly issue that goes along with anarchy.
Okay.
If everything's private, what is to stop one, or essentially having Walmart as a state unto itself and Amazon as a state unto itself, with what would essentially develop into bona fide state powers like we see them today? You would have the Walmart security force. You would have the Amazon security force. They may very well go to war with each other.
I guess they would if they were stealing from each other's stores. But of course, a company like Walmart or Amazon, so you see, it's all about incentives. Humans act off of incentives. And, so that's the whole thing, is a private organization, they have an incentive to provide the best products and services that they can provide to their customer and at the best price. And obviously market mechanisms dictate that, because if they didn't provide those things, then they would go out of business. But, Walmart doesn't have an incentive to go out and enslave people, because slavery is bad economics. Trying to get someone to force, or it's trying to force someone to work, they aren't going to work as hard as they would as if you were paying them, to do whatever they wanted with their money. And that was proven. That's why the North was phasing out slavery before the South. It wasn't on a moral basis. It was because the economics of it were so poor, they would have been better just hiring somebody instead of having to feed this person who didn't even want to work for them in the first place. And then, but really, I mean, monopolies never happened, especially in a free market. Like it's kind of and I guess you're talking about a militarized company, but I just don't see the demand for a domestic military, kind of like the police. Like there's certainly a demand for security officers to protect private property, but I think the only time that they would do anything is if incentives dictated it, which would be if someone was stealing items from the store. That would be how they earned their pay. They would prevent thieving.
Well, the incentive of the company is also to make the most profit possible.
Of course.
I mean, look at Wells Fargo taking advantage of people who didn't understand that they were opening multiple accounts that had various interest rates, and then they were taken advantage of because they just didn't understand the business practices that they were engaging in.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until government intervention that brought all of that to light.
No, I mean, dude, look, if the banks have done bad things, but it was all protected and incentivized by government action.
Well, the activities Wells Fargo took weren't.
How?
That's why.
How are they going to get their money if they loaned it out to people who could never pay it back?
I don't see where that wasn't what Wells Fargo is doing in this instance that I'm referring to.
The only reason Wells Fargo did something so stupid is because the Federal Reserve would just print up their money for them anyways. the FDIC would just provide that money for them anyways. But
I'm
the
not
banks
talking about
never,
the 2008 bank activity. I was talking about, this was more recent, where they were engaging in
it's
predatory
happening.
account opening practices.
Yeah, no, it's happening now. But absent the Federal Reserve printing up money and absent the FDIC insuring everybody's bank account, nobody would make bad loans. And I mean, nobody would make a loan unless they thought they were going to get their money back. So nobody would make a loan to somebody who had no prospect of ever possibly paying it back, because how would they get their money? They wouldn't, you know, they would go broke. They'd lose the money.
Well, if you're a bank as large as Wells Fargo is, I mean,
you aren't going to be that big for very long if you're loaning it out to a whole bunch of people who can't pay it back.
But in terms of the predatory account practices, if they're continuing to entice people unwittingly to open all these accounts with high interest rates, it doesn't matter to Wells Fargo if the person has to take out a second job as long as they're paying it back.
And see, and this is the distinction. What I'm talking about is loans. You're saying bank accounts. If a bank account has a high interest rate, that's beneficial to the customer. If a loan has a high interest rate, that's a negative to the customer. So what they're doing is they're making a lot of
rates,
loans.
I should say.
They're making a lot of loans with high interest rates that the customers can't pay back.
Well, what Wells Fargo did in this circumstance is that they enticed people to open up more accounts than they needed, and then there were things like overdraft fees, and when a penalty was assessed, that's what they were doing that was predatory, that took advantage of people. And it wasn't until the government took a look at it that was brought to light and revealed to be a bad business practice.
Right,
and
yeah.
In an
No,
anarchic
absolutely.
society where there is no government, if there's no regulation for the banks, they're going to
wouldn't make the
continue to
loans.
engage in that predatory
No,
activity.
they absolutely would not. No, before government gets, absent government intervention in banks, they're incentivized to help the customer, not take from the customer.
They're incentivized to get the most money possible.
Yes, and the way that they do that is convince people to loan them money in the form of a savings account so they can invest in profitable companies, so that the companies can pay them dividends and they can pay their customers interest rates. But right now it's not set up like that. You're incentivized to loan as much money from the bank, and if you don't pay it back, well, big whoop. The FDIC's got the bank covered, or the Fed has it covered. Right now, incentives are completely everywhere because the government is doling out all of this money, and it wouldn't happen absent government. The banks would be responsible for any losses that they make. And if they're ripping their customers off, their customers would not have money to loan them, and they'd go broke. So banking would be much better absent the government. That 2008 would have never happened. Hell, 1929 would have never happened. But that's just kind of how that is, in my opinion. And I don't think that anybody could debate me if we had an hour-long debate. You could say it could happen, but the incentives aspect of it, if you look at how these people are incentivized absent government, there's no incentives to rip people off, because if you rip people off, we've got social media. I'd go type on Facebook, Wells Fargo's ripping me off. Nobody's going to bank with them if they hear that. Nobody's going to bank. They're going to go bank with whoever else. I bank with a local bank. I don't bank with an investment bank. When I do invest, I invest with a private investor who I know isn't going to rip me off. But that's neither here nor there. I just don't think. See, Murray Rothbard, who is he's a great scholar. He actually is a scholar. Multiple college degrees, graduate degree, and he said, he's an economist, by the way. That's what his forte is. He's a PhD economist. And he said that the only meaningful definition of a monopoly is a government-granted privilege to provide a good or service while restricting everybody else's privilege to provide the same one, because the marketplace does not allow for monopolies. But Paul, I hate to cut you off, man. I think that you've got good points to make. I just really have to go because everyone in the house has been extremely quiet for my well-being here on the live, which I appreciate them for. But I appreciate Auditor for hosting this, Paul. Thanks for coming up. Thanks to everybody who came
Whoa, don't call me a frauditor. Whoa. Yeah, not frauditor.
Okay, troll. Hey, troll. Thanks for hosting it, man. Always great coming on. People think that we have big disagreements. We're civil for the most part. So
yeah, you didn't call me a terrorist this time.
Well, let's be honest, man. You sound a little bit like I don't remember last time. I do remember calling you a terrorist. So, but all right, yeah, guys, have a good one. Thanks to everybody in my chat. Thanks to everybody in Frauditor Troll's chat for joining, making this thing possible. Everybody have a good day, and I will see you later. I am heading out of this live.
Yeah, maybe we'll do it again next week. We'll keep in touch.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. See you guys
All right.
later.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Carroll. That was quite entertaining, quite learning a lot by listening to you guys, to you more than him. That's for damn sure.
Sure, I come.
Yeah.
That was great.
Thanks, buddy. I'm
I
actually
watched
still I'm still live, so if you just give me a second, pal.
That was wonderful. I love that.
Great, pal. Great. All right, everybody. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Why don't you all put one in the chat if you can actually hear me? Put one in the chat so I know if you're. Okay, you guys can hear me. All right. Hey guys, thanks for everybody who joined. I always have fun with that. Just having fun with the trolls. I mean, I don't ever change their minds, but hopefully we can give everybody some ammunition if they ever want to have a debate with statist, or maybe even just provide you guys with some entertainment. But thank you all for watching. I'm gonna get out of here. Look forward to more videos in the future. I appreciate everybody. So we'll see you in the next one, guys. Stay tuned. Tomorrow we're doing our regular live stream, and we've got an actual lawyer, or supposedly he's a lawyer, coming up, and we're gonna have a talk with him. So stay tuned for that. It's gonna be at 5 p.m. Fallon Filming 5.0 is gonna be there. We'll see y'all in the next one. CH and Ty out.